Hello and welcome to the official start of the Custom Craziness Tournament. Today we've got our 16 versus 1 match. We've got Legend of Zelda and Urban Architects versus Geomancers and Mantis Tribe. After the exhibition matches, somebody suggested that I should give a rundown of each deck before the match starts, so let's do that real quick. Over in the 16 seed, we have Legend of Zelda and Urban Architects. This deck is going to focus on manipulating breakpoints and kind of solving miniature puzzles. For example, what we can see in their Titan Hylia, they're going to want to hit specific power targets or have minions at the same power out. And that's going to be their main fuel for scoring points. On the other hand, we've got Geomancers and Mantis Tribe. They focus really hard on winning bases on the other player's turn, which is really valuable for keeping momentum. And they've got a lot of control for making sure that things go their way. Like you're not just hoping that your threats go aren't responded to or the opponent lets it through or whatever. Like no, they have tools to make sure things go their way. And this is game one. We've got all the stuff we need out. And without further ado, well, let's shuffle up the base deck. Let's shuffle up the decks, get some opening hands in, and then we can get started. Okay, they've got a minion. Come over here. Ooh, Traitor Lord in the opening hand. That's pretty exciting. And a Mantis Lord. They've got a pretty good opening hand. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so Dwarven Stronghold is going to be really cool to put a Hyrulean on this turn, because we can start using that as a card draw factory. So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and do that. Oh, actually no, before we do that, we have to do Hylia. We have to choose an amount of energy to put on it. Based on these bases, it looks like might have a pretty high-powered start, like high power numbers. But in my experience, you don't actually want to put something close to the breakpoint, because otherwise you're just going to overshoot or not break the base at all. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a modest amount. We're going to do 15. Right, how much is this? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. Okay. And now we'll put the Hyrulean on. And after this turn, we can start removing the power counters that Dwarven Stronghold gives us for card draw or eventually movement if we want. Okay. Let's just go over the opening hand. Having a resident in the opening hand is really good because that's a really valuable minion for this deck. What are they doing? All these bases are pretty nice. I think that these guys are going to be going for the Forge first, especially since they don't already have stuff there. That's a better spot to put Quagmire. Let's see. We can also put Mantis Warrior over on Dwarven Stronghold. Maybe we can do both. Really force this to stymie how much that engine gets used. Uh, Sorry, I had to step away for a little bit. Let's see, where were we? Ah, yes. So we're going to put Quagmire on the Forge, and then we'll put Mantis Warrior on the Stronghold so that we can stymie the use of that Hyrulean engine. And 2 Mantis Lords. Nice. Oh, no, not that one. This one. There we go. Okay, start of the turn. Have to place a power counter. But again, they're likely just going to remove that counter for card draw. And that's that Quagmire does definitely hurt. But putting something there and just burying it isn't the worst thing in the world, especially if we plan to like play like a resident or something. Mm, yeah. Do we want to play Hyrulean Shield? It's that or no action at all. Hmm. With no other puzzles in play yet, I think that's kind of strange to speculate on. So I think for now, what we'll do is we'll bury a resident with Quagmire and just not play in action. It's not Hylian Shield kind of doesn't want to come first. What we could do is we could put it on Dwarven Stronghold. Oh, of course we should do this as well before we commit to not. Ah, there we go. Sacred Temple. Yeah, that's definitely better to play. And we can just put that anywhere. So let's put that in Anchor Wat. So that's gonna be good since we played that resident. Hopefully we can find another 2-power minion to play, and that'll allow us to really get some power going. Maybe break Dwarven Stronghold. It'd be nice if we can get Hylia at the same time, but that's not guaranteed. Oh, power lines. Nice. Okay. And what are they doing? Yeah, all these specials are gonna make Hylia a lot harder to trip. We'll see what happens though. At the start of the turn, have to put a power counter, and the breakpoint's still 23. Yep. I'm kind of tempted to just put a Petra down. We can also put Mantis Lord down. Uh, that would be 6, 7 power. It's not the worst thing ever. Hmm. We could also do Terra Nova on Dwarven Stronghold, just cut off the card draw entirely. That's not a bad idea. It is a nice VP split, though, uniquely. The Forge isn't guaranteed to be a 3-2-1, but it's also not guaranteed to be a 4-2-1 either, depending on how things go. Hmm. Playing Terra Nova is probably better than not playing an action, because this deck does limit itself to 1 action per turn. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll do Terra Nova. Oh, put it there. There are no other players' actions there, and we swap it. Okay, swap it. So that goes back on top. Ooh, that is significantly better for Legend of Architects, but that's okay. Better to get that out of the way early, probably. Okay, with that in mind, it's probably slightly safer to play a Mantis Lord here. Ooh, Bountiful Soil, that's nice. Quicksand's good too. Now they don't have another 2 to play and trigger Sacred Temple yet. So uncovering the resident may not be the best idea in the world. We can play a modeler this turn, though. We can do modeler and Hylian Shield, perhaps. Put that on Nightmare World, which makes it easy to move away with modeler if need be. Yeah, I like that idea. So we won't uncover the resident yet. We'll instead play the modeler on, I think Anchor Wat is right, and then we'll play Hylian Shield on Nightmare World. And losing the card draw from the Hyrulean is quite unfortunate. Ooh, Ancient Sage, that's nice. Smash the Pots can enable us to get the minions we need, but it's not ideal. What we might need to do is score something else with Ancient Sage not having any counters to make it a 2, which would be nice. Alright, for now, back over to here. Where are they going to where are they going to play cards? Because that's going to be where we want to put Bountiful Soil. What we can do is, Mantis Petra would be 10, Talent makes 12 out of 24. That's not the best, because they can't follow that up on their next turn, I don't think. Hmm. Hmm. What we can do is we can play a Mantis Lord on the Forge. Unfortunately, we can't use the talent if that's the case, unless we move that warrior over. And then that's kind of like, what are you doing at that point? It's just exchanging which one you're doing, which I guess is better activation. Allows us to pivot where we get the counters from if we want to score the Forge instead. Yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. Alright, so we'll use this Mantis Lord talent to move the Mantis Warrior over. We'll play another one. We'll play a Mantis Lord, I mean. I think we'll get a future... We'll do a future draw counter. And we'll use yellow for draw, white for reshuffle. And then Mantis Lord talent will be power counter. And let's see, do I want to play an action? If we play an action, it's going to be Bountiful Soil. Probably on the... Playing it on the Forge isn't necessarily the best idea. Maybe we hold off on that until we have more of a threat positioned. So maybe play that on Nightmare World next turn or something. I was just saying that they back up on actions a little bit. So we can put it on Nightmare World if we want. It's only played though. If we had a Petra there, I would be more inclined to do that, but we don't. So I think I won't do that yet. Okay. Coming back over here. Do we want to uncover the resident yet? We can plausibly break the Forge this turn. It depends. We'd have to discard some stuff with Quagmire, I think. Let's see, it needs how much to break? 24 minus 8 is 16. Let's think here. Ancient Sage would be 3. Yeah, the biggest thing is that we can't do Sacred Temple. So that's going to be the biggest thing holding this back. I think what we can do is uncover the resident to have presence and gain like a future power counter or something. And then we can play Ancient Sage on Nightmare World with the power lines. I think I like that idea. Just secure some presence here, get a future power counter. Then we'll play power lines. We'll play Ancient Sage. And that'll give power lines a power counter. Well, a counter. Then I'll use that to up the breakpoint by 1. And we won't trigger resident. Any reactions here? No, I don't think so. That was minion and action. Do we want to do modeler? No, I don't think we want to do modeler. Oh, this should be 25 actually, because of the ability. Okay. Ooh, Link. Link is nice. Master Sword as well is good. Let's see, what are we doing over here? We could plausibly do Mantis Petra and Bountiful Soil with Pincer Attack in the back pocket. Hmm. What we can do is play the Petra on the Forge, move it over to use the other Mantis talent, kind of spread our assets around. Is that after any minion? After any minion is played or moved to there. That is good to know. Hmm. It's not out of the question to do that, especially since it gives us another future counter to use. I don't necessarily want to do Quicksand to back that up because of power lines, although the end of turn uncovering instead of start of turn would help that quite a bit. Hmm. I definitely think we start with a Petra here. Get the power counter from Mantis Warrior. Actually, they should grab a reshuffle counter while they can, because they have no recursion. This Mantis Lord will move this one over. Breakpoint changes. This Mantis Lord will do power counter. And 12 out of 26, that's pretty safe. And even if they manage to break the base, there's always Traitor Lord in our back pocket to take out a big resident. I think that's okay. Do we want to do an action? Do we want to play Quicksand? If we're burying anything, it's going to be the Ancient Sage. But I don't know if it actually does anything, so I think we don't bother. I think what we can do is Bountiful Soil on Nightmare World to power up that Petra more. Because we've got another minion there, so we can maintain presence, and we've got minions on the bases, so we can actually move it away. Okay, pretty good draws. What do we got over here? Breakpoint goes down. Yes, that's correct now. No start of turn stuff, so we're good on that front. What are we doing? Are we going to try and break Nightmare World? You certainly could. If we can break Nightmare World while not playing very many cards there, that would be nice. If we can hit the 15, 15 plus 7 is 22 total power there. That's pretty reasonable. Yeah, it's not out of the question that we can potentially hit Hylia, and Link will make it a lot easier even against specials potentially. Now they obviously don't know that that the opponent has Traitor Lord yet, and with 27 cards in the deck, it's not unreasonable to assume that it's not in play yet. Now we still can't use Sacred Temple, but eventually we'll be able to. Eventually. So what can we do? We can do Link. Link would be 16, counter here, breakpoint goes up, resident reacts and moves over, gains a power. Oh yeah, this is one of the bases that's really good for architects. Breakpoint goes up, triggers resident again for just power. And that also gives power lines another counter, and it triggers Bountiful Soil, which I think they're okay with doing. Even if the base breaks, having a higher power Petra is not the worst thing in the world, especially if they can follow it up with a break of Forge. What do we still need here? There's 4 counters on Nightmare World. There's 4 power lines, excuse me. We want 2 more power if we can help it. Exactly. Let's see. This will drop the breakpoint by 4 to 23. And then a topographer would do it. And we can use modeler to save either power lines or the shield. And if we do things correctly, we can move power. I think move in. Ooh, Hylian shield is protecting the resident. That's nice. That's good. So that's gonna make Traitor Lord unhappy. So yeah, they'll want to keep Hylian shield there for sure. So yeah, I think I like that idea. We'll play topographer. Think we're just drawing a card, but in case I change my mind, we'll just put that there for now. Breakpoint goes up. This gets a counter. We actually don't want to react with the resident because we're already over our Hylia threshold. But at the same time, you doing 2 -1s with Link to cover these other 2 minions would be nice. It does lose the Ancient Sage, unfortunately, if that happens. What we can do is, if Traitor Lord does come out and destroys the Ancient Sage, we can try and have this so that the math would still work. If we go to 17 power, yeah, then Link can be flexible. Well, okay, I guess Link would still have to go first, but we'll worry about that when we get there. Yeah. So we will react with Resident. That's okay. Actually, no. We don't need this power, and we only need the Resident to move over once. I think it's better to hit the mark for, like, on the dot. And yeah, it's 23 power, and we can reduce the breakpoint to 23 with power lines, so that's fine. We can then move power lines to Anchor Watt with the modeler. We can't move it to the Forge, but I think that's fine. That might even be better. So yes, now we will invoke power lines talent, reduce the breakpoint by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did we cover? Oh, how do we play an extra minion there? Wait, we already played Link. Oh, I'm stupid. Back up. This comes off, this comes back. That goes there. Yeah, how did I miss that? We already played Link. This is what live commentary is useful for. Okay, so we got action plan. How do we... So let's put that second resident power back, probably. How do we want to handle this? If we can add 2 more power, that would be ideal. Exactly 2 more power. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that with civil engineering. Yeah, and we're still going to end up moving power lines to Anchor Watt. Yeah, that's what we do. Action will be civil engineering. I'm glad I didn't say that card with topographer. To reduce the breakpoint by 3 over here and increase by 3 over here. Actually, now we can move it to the... No, wait, no. It's equal or lower. Yeah, equal or lower. Resident will react to gain a power. Power lines will react and drop the breakpoint. And resident will react again. Yes. And it's unfortunate that we can't guarantee highly if Traitor Lord comes out, but I think leaving this like this for now is the best way to do it. Oh, and obviously Modeler is going to be moving over power lines. Or moving away power lines. Alright, so now we'll score the base. Nightmare World is scoring. Mandatory special, Petra draws a card. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. And now I think we're about to see what Geomantises do. Because they do have Traitor Lord, and they have a reshuffle counter to get him back. That's dangerous. If they did that, that would be 13 power to 12 power. It would change the break point of the base? Would it change the break? I'm trying to think. Because it's during their turn, so the resident can react. The Traitor Lord does land and destroys the Ancient Sage with its on play. So I'm trying to think if the breakpoint actually changes at any time during that. Because this is just a okay, because it's a constant, I think it does change and resident can react. I think that makes sense. And obviously, they can't kill the resident because of Hylian Shield. But I think they're going to do this because they have the reshuffle counter. So Ancient Sage is gone. But the breakpoint did change momentarily, so resident can react. And they'll probably end up using Pincer Attack on this as well, because that's still a big swing. Unless they want to move the resident away. I actually didn't consider that. So that could be an argument for playing Traitor Lord over here instead. Oh yeah, they can totally just get that solo, can't they? That's another aspect of this I didn't consider until now. They can play the Traitor Lord on the Forge and take out the Sage anyway, and then that definitely changes the breakpoint, and it means that the Petra can move away because it's another player's turn and sets up stuff on the Forge, which is going to be hard for them to defend, for architects to defend, that is. Kind of living to fight another day because they're going to get highly out of this, but at the same time, keeping that Petra around is definitely really important, so I think it's okay to do that. So yeah, we'll do that instead. So the breakpoint's down by 7, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minions there, so it should be at 19. Okay, Yeah, and that definitely changed the breakpoint. And now we can do Link. Give 2 minions a +1, and they'll hit their power threshold for Hylia. The Petra will move away with its special. Oh, when I played Traitor Lord, they should have gained a future power counter. There we go. That's all taken care of. Okay. And now we'll leave it here. We can use that reshuffle counter on a Mantis Lord, probably. So they'll get 5 from the base scoring, 3 from the base scoring, and they hit Hylia, which is really good. Taking an early lead against Geomancers is definitely very important. Alright. This gets cleaned up. Hylia's got to lose at least 2 energy. I think we'll go down to just the 13. Don't want to make things too small. I don't think there's an opportunity for the resident to move away during cleanup. That would be kind of strange because everything's getting cleaned up at once. Right, yes, Dwarf and Stronghold. Okay, that was a good turn for them still, even though this is very, very threatening. And actually, civil engineering might end up playing into Geomantis' favor because now they have a bit of a threshold to break the base, but not on their turn. If they get to 24 through 26 power. And that should be relatively simple. So yeah, they took a -3 VP deficit there, but they're just about to make it up again. Let's see, how many minions are they playing there? Just the one, I think, the Mantis Petras. They want minions on another. They want a minion on another base so that they have a destination for the Petras to move to. That can be Gaia If we play Gaia there, that's 4 makes 22. Mantis Lord makes 23, 24, 25, 26. If we don't play a minion there, or leave a minion there at least, that is 19, 20, 21 power. It's obviously very threatening, but it's not a guaranteed break at that moment. It's played there, not moved to there. It's challenging because the modeler can always move itself over because of civil engineering wearing off. But they can always kill it. The challenge is we're trying to have another minion on Dwarven Stronghold or Anchor Watt so the Petras can move so the Petra can move away. We might be able to make that work though. Whatever future counter we spend is the one we're recouping with Hephaestus Forge. 19, 20, 21. The future power counter would make 22. Yeah, I don't think they can guarantee a break, but if these guys want any presence, they're gonna need to put something there, obviously. Yeah, so I think that's okay. Now the question is, which future counter do they use? Which is a legitimate question. Getting back a Mantis Lord is really valuable, since we've seen 2 of them already. It'd be nice to keep that stocked a little bit. And I think the VP is probably more valuable than keeping Traitor Lord in play a second time. It's just the way the cookies crumbled. I think that we're going to be getting back this Mantis Lord instead. So we'll spend that, put it back in the deck, and then we'll play a Gaia Knight. Forge reacts to give them a reshuffle counter. Gaia Knight reacts to move away. Mantis Lord will give everybody a power counter. And we do have an action. We can use Quicksand to bury the modeler. I actually didn't consider that. Yeah, that's pretty good, so that they have to play something there in order to get presents. But I don't want to risk. I don't want to risk them not playing it and not allowing the Petra to move. So I think this avenue of play is still better. Although I do think that Quicksand might still be a good play. It might be. The argument against it is that it's not going to do anything. It's a little tough. Power lines sitting at 4. Do we want the modeler in play next turn? Is the question. It does give power lines another counter eventually. So, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to hold off and not do that. Okay. The breakpoint reduction from Forge wears off. That's all good. That's all good. That's all good. Okay. So this is a big pickle for these guys because they definitely need to respond to it. The best thing for them to do would be to put a 2 there and not break the base. But that's impossible. They don't have any 2s in hand. They can try to put a Sage there and hope it survives. Break an Anchor Watt would be really nice for them. They would appreciate the counters. And it's plausible that they can get the 13 exactly with Hylia. Tricky, tricky. Yeah, I think at least forcing a response would be nice, and if the Sage survives, then that's just nice. It does mean the Petra moves away, but I don't think there's anything we can do about that. And if the Ancient Sage does survive, it's another 2 for Sacred Temple, which is nice. I'm not going to count on that, though. So yeah, I think we have to do this, and we're going to have to discard with Quagmire. I'm thinking pending projects, just because that's the most utility-esque card, and getting power lines in play would be really, really nice. We can also play Smash the Pots to play non-modeler, just to have even more modifier flexibility. Yeah. You know what? That's what we're gonna do. We'll play a modeler. Equal or lower breakpoint. Oh, so we can't. I was thinking we could bounce the power lines in between these 2 bases, but we actually can't do that. Getting another modeler out is still probably pretty good. Playing something on Gaia Knight's base. Yeah, I think. Yeah, they're not going to do that. They don't want to move it away because they want a target for the Petra to move to. So that's pretty safe. Yeah. And then we'll play Smash the Pots to play Ancient Sage there, and they'll discard pending projects. Yeah. And this is going to break the... Look at a power counter. I think... Oh, no, they already have a power counter. Draw or reshuffle? It's a good question. We'll do draw. Yeah. They haven't seen their good cards yet, so I think having a way to get to them is going to be more valuable than an ability to recur them. They've seen Link, but that's basically the exception. All right, so the Forge is scoring. Uh, Before the base scores, Petra has to draw a card. Golem, okay. And then before the base scores, they'll spend their counters to gain a VP. Let's see. They don't have any specials, so they can't do anything. So these guys are just free to do what they want. Petra will move away, reduces the breakpoint. And then do they want to use Pincer Attack for this? Yeah, it's worth +2 VP. It's a score of 7 to 8 versus 7 to 6. Being up on VP is always nice, especially since we're angling towards Dwarven Stronghold. I think we use it while we can. Especially since the Ancient Sage would move away otherwise. Alright, and that's the turn. Yep, these guys get 3 VP, and that's it. And this is how Geomancers win, is they get solos on the opponent's turn, and then they get to take their next turn directly after. Oh, man. Dark Web. Okay. And these guys draw cards. Let's not mix that up. What are we doing over here? We have to place a counter with Dwarven Stronghold. I think we'd rather put it on the Petra. We're 8 VP away from winning. If we can win both Dwarven Stronghold and Dark Web, that's game. What do we want to do? You can do Quicksand to bury the Modeler and just force them to play more stuff there. We can play Geomaster there. That goes up to 16 power. And if they uncover the Modeler, that would be enough to break the base on its own. So then we can play Throne Room to have a target for the Petra to move to again. I think I like that idea. And if they don't fall for it, then we can think about that next turn. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Which one do we play? Based on how this is shaking out, I'm leaning more towards Golem. The Petras are usually better, especially with no buried cards there yet. And again, we're doing this here instead of here, so that this Petra has a target to move to. Warriors, okay. Now, do they do it? Do they fall for it? Or do they walk into the trap? Obviously, if they uncover the minion, then that's enough power to break the base, which would put the score at 8 for them versus 11 for their opponent, which is pretty bad. As a result, I think they don't go for it. Not yet, at least. They don't even necessarily want to uncover it and then move it with like the modeler's ability or something, because that runs the risk of getting soloed on Geomancer's normal turn. If they can get Anger Watt out of it, that might be worth it, especially if they can also score Hylia. Uh, if they do score Hylia, probably wouldn't bank on getting it a third time, but getting it twice in a game is definitely a lot. Definitely huge. How many counters power lines have? It has 5. What they could do, does the math work on this? If they uncover the modeler, it goes to 24 power. 20 if they move it away. So the topographer would still uh, score the base. That's a little dangerous. Like they might not have the ability to spend time on Anchor Watt if that was the case. Can they break? Can they break Anchor Watt this turn? That's the big question, I think. Scoring it with Hylia is kind of uh, irrelevant right now. It is pretty close. They can get to 9 power pretty easily. I mean, even just getting the counters is pretty nice. Hmm. It's tough. Working after hours. What can that grab? I can grab Korok Puzzle. We have the ability to. We do have the ability to fulfill Korok Puzzle, but it just draws 3 cards. Doesn't do anything other than that. And then we've got what, Triforce? We can't fulfill Triforce. We'd only have access to 1/3. We can't make the other 4s 3s. Yeah, losing that Ancient Sage definitely hurt quite a bit. Equal or lower breakpoint. What they could do is fall back to Dark Web instead of Anchor Watt. Keep Sacred Temple there. They can boost the breakpoint of Anchor Watt using power lines up to 22. Use the topographer to reduce Dark Web so that they can move power lines over. That's an idea. It's a little bit risky since, yeah, it's start a turn. Might be worth it though. Score would be 8 to 11. Even if they win this, that would be 12 to 13. It could work. They'd need a bit of luck with the bases to have a 2-point split, or they need to score Hylia, which, with Traitor Lord gone and Pincer Attack gone, no more future counters. The only thing left is Pitfall, which they would have to watch out for. That is the nice thing about playing against Geomancer Mantises, is that you can potentially outlast them if the game isn't over at that point. So yeah, I think they're gonna do this. They do have to. That's kind of interesting. It's 5, 9. That would be 12. And that's not 13. That's 13 though. They actually can do Hylia with Anchor Watt if they ignore Dwarven Stronghold. Eh, it's interesting. They can do that. It loses the base modifiers, which is not great. It buys them a little bit of time to think about Dwarven Stronghold if these guys decide that, you know what, I think that's a good idea. Because if getting soloed, if they got soloed, that would be really bad because the Petra would still move away. If they get soloed on Geomantis' turn, the Petra gets stuck, which is really good because that's a 7-power Petra. And that's definitely a lot better. So yeah, that might be good. That might be right. Yeah. Okay. Huh. Wasn't expecting that. But yeah, the way we do this is we play Topographer. I think it's going to draw a card. We'll put that over here for now. And that puts a counter on power lines. Then power lines can trigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we've got 13 charges. Yeah. And now the breakpoints change, so Modeler can move itself over. And they'll use their future counter to get the 13th power. And now I'm just thinking about actions. Smash the Pots obviously isn't useful. Working after hours is probably the way to go. So yeah, I'll draw this card now. Oh, Fairy Companion. That's nice. That will be good for the late game, if we can draw a resident. So yeah, we'll do Working After Hours now, and just decide what we want to grab. The well... we're not going to get immediate use out of the well. Triforce... I think it's a little too slow because we're starting from scratch. Suburbs... Suburbs, it looks like we're going to have a showdown on Dark Web pretty soon. And that kind of means that uh, Suburbs is going to be able to play some minions. So that's an option. Korok Puzzle is the most obvious thing to do. Just an instant draw 3. And what's the rest? What are the rest of our options? Other Sacred Temple? No. Yeah, I think we would just do Korok Puzzle for card draw. Because our hand is small, we need other things. We need like another resident, for example. So we'll grab Korok Puzzle. We'll just play it, and we have... Okay. We can, before we use our future counter, is when we do Korok Puzzle. Now we control 3 or more minions of different powers. We have a 5, a 4, and a 3. 5. So we will destroy Korok Puzzle and draw 3 cards. We won't remove any counters. And now we will place our power counter. And if you want to be nitpicky about it, we could have put this on the other modeler, but yeah. Can the second modeler use its talent in a useful way? Don't think so. We can't. There aren't any bases with smaller breakpoints. So, yeah, that's not useful, unfortunately. But hey, they will get Anchor Watt, and those future counters are going to come in real handy. All right, so Anchor Watt scores, nothing these guys can do about it. They get 2 VP. They get 3 future power counters, 3 future draw counters. Yeah, gave them 2 VP already, and they score Hylia, and we'll only remove 2. Oh, 2. There we go. Should be at 11 now. Yep. Okay. I think that's pretty good. They're staying in this. That's good. Wouldn't want this to be a steamroll. Other Castle Blood. I think that's a good base for them. It's a base that they can go to in the interim before they do the showdown on Dark Web, potentially. Yeah. Okay. And then they'll draw 2 for end of turn. Architect. Yeah, okay. I think it's an argument in favor of going for Other Castle Blood. Yeah, and Other Castle Blood has the slightly more potential to trigger Hylia a third time, if that really matters. We'll see, though. Anyway, Dwarven Stronghold. They have to place a power counter. What do they want to do? Do they want to try and force a break on the other player's turn? I don't think they can do that with what they've got right now, so I think they're just gonna say, oh well. Unless they want to like move the Gaia Knight off. Eh, I think they're better off just taking the 4 VP solo that they've been given and just running with it. Do they play a Petra there, or do they play Golem there? What do they do? Other Castle Blood, I don't think is relevant this turn. Hmm. The nice thing about playing Petra on Stronghold is that it just draws a card. It's nothing wrong with that. Then you can play a Warrior on Dark Web. Also not bad. That's probably fine. And then they just play like Earth Strength on the Golem the Petra they played there already. Yeah, that's fine. Throne Room, we'll play Mantis Warrior, we'll play Earth Strength. Yeah, they're gunning for a win on Dark Web, for sure. Dwarven Stronghold scores, nothing these guys can do about it. Mandatory specials from the Petras to draw 2 cards, but they can't move away because it's their own turn. Mark of Pride. That is an interesting draw. Alright. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Echo Base. Interesting. Well, you can't say that the bases have been favoring Geomantises, because I think that does favor architects. Now, question of the hour is, where are they going? I think it would be pretty stupid for architects to go to Dark Web right now, actually, because that's just a big old trap. They're 4 VP away. These guys need at least 6 VP. Like they could maybe go for both of these 3 VPers. If that was the case, they'd want to do Echo Base first. Hmm. I would want to do Echo Base first. Well done, well. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get use out of card draw from Well Done Well, although at this point that might not be what they want. How do they want to play this? Probably Architect on Echo Base for now. They can hope. They can maybe hope to draw Civil Engineering. It's 15 cards. Both modelers are gone. They do have. My thinking here is that this is the last opportunity for Architect to be more than a printed 5. I've got some draw counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just wondering, how are they going to change the breakpoint of other Castle Blood without Civil Engineering? Maybe they just don't. Uh, and they're banking on drawing it in order to make Architect useful. They've got power lines, but that requires them to play or move a minion to there in order to change the breakpoint. And they don't have any. Oh, you know what? No, they do have Hyrulean. They could convert one of their power counters into that. That's actually not a bad idea. They do have an avenue for potentially using power lines to move somebody with Architect. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. Okay. I think they still. Hmm. What they can do is lead with the Hyrulean and Magnificent power lines on other Castle Blood, because that's, I think, a proportionally smaller footprint. And then Architect's the big drop over on Echo Base, like their next turn or something. Yeah, we'll go with that. Power lines, Hyrulean, and obviously other Castle Blood can convert this into pure power to break Echo if needed. It may not be needed though. We'll see. And that's it. I'll draw some cards. Oh, they should probably maintain a hand of 10 with the draw counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they'll spend 1 draw counter now. Moon reset. Interesting. That doesn't let us get civil engineering, but it is good to keep in our back pocket. Okay. Triforce. Interesting. Ancient Sage is good to see as well. Triforce is probably not going to be useful for Echo Base. It'll only be useful for other Castle Blood if we get that far. We'll see though. These guys are basically just racing to break Dark Web as fast as possible. So we'll do Mantis Warrior as the normal minion. Gets a counter from the other one. Throne Room will play Petra, I guess. It gets 2. We'll play Mark of Pride and Golem, I guess. Doesn't break the base yet, but it will probably next turn. Oh, yeah, that definitely breaks it next turn. We'll see what happens, though. Okay, this is going to be a close game, I think. That's good. So what do we got here? We've got quite a bit. Obviously, we're planning to play Arc Architect. If we play Smash the Pots, let's see. Arc Architect would be 7. We're thinking we're going to do this so that we can move it over. Fairy Companion with Smash the Pots would be another 7 for 14. Actually, no, it would be a 9 after we factor in Echo Base Power for 16. The Hyrulean moves over for 20. Yeah, that's pretty cut and dry. And then the Fairy Companion moves over for another. Oh, no, this breakpoint is down to 18. This is going to be super close. Wow, this is going to be really close. Yeah. All right, yeah. You smash the pots. Do Fairy Companion. It gets. No, no, not temporary power. 7 power counters from Arc Architect, copying Arc Architect's power. And then Echo Base is going to give it 2 more. Hyrulean will use its talent to remove a counter and move it to another base. Echo Base is going to give it 2 more power, and that's the 20 they need. That was minion and action. They're going to use power lines to increase the breakpoint by 1 so that Arc Architect can move over Fairy Companion. They might need to think about scoring Hylia, depending on how things go. But that might be impossible to reduce the breakpoint that much. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because they definitely can't do it with Echo. Okay. And yeah, they can't. These guys can't do anything. They don't even have Pitfall. So that's 3 VP over here. Arc Architect will move away Fairy Companion. It loses this 2 power. Come on, TTS. Oh my gosh, TTS. What are you doing? Power lines gets another counter. Okay, this is a very, very close game. Just goes to show you, even the maximum seed delta can still produce some close games. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they should have used another draw counter to get back to 10 cards. And then 1, 2. Cool. Cool. Breakpoint goes back up. They're kind of limping, but they can just do Mantis Lord. Boom, 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 and that's all they need. Yep, that's game. Yep. Yeah, that's game. I think that architects do win next turn, though, for what it's worth. Like, this would go back down to 18. So yeah, official score is 12 to 15. But I think that these guys win next turn, because we got, like, Ganondorf. He's got +1 already. We can use Castle Blood. We can use this to drop the breakpoint by 3. Yeah, they win next turn easily. We just move these counters because it's Castle Blood. Yeah, they blow it out of the water next turn. That's really funny that they would actually win next turn. Okay, it's game 1. Geomantis has won. They only need one more game to advance and kick Architects down to the losers bracket. I will see you in game 2 in a moment. All right, it's time for game number 2. Since Legend of Architects lost the previous game, they will be going first again this game. We're using the medium risk base deck as we were supposed to. Let's just get right into it. This is the starting hand over here. TTS, please. Come on. Thank you. There we go. And this is the starting hand over here. Seeing some new stuff that we didn't see last game. All right, let's get into it. Power Lines, the opening hand is good. Resident in the opening hand is good. Let's see. Don't know where Northern Isles is in the base deck. Hopefully it comes up for them. I think we just start with Power Lines and Resident on Very Large Telescope. Then we can use Very Large Telescope's ability. Oh, we have to do highly up, of course. I think 15 is probably a good amount of energy to start with again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's just not just me being biased towards the number 15. I think that's just a good round number to do. Like you're expecting your opponent to contribute a little bit, and this deck's gonna have some breakpoint reduction, so it's pretty easy to do about 60% of your base breakpoints, or 75 in the case of 15 compared to 21s. Yeah. Okay. So now let's do a Very Large Telescope. Which one are they going to reveal if they do? Knowing the next two bases is actually going to be pretty useful. So let's not get rid of pending projects. It's also just an action to play next turn. I don't think we're ready for Topographer. I think Ancient Sage might be better to play either next turn or later than that. So we're going to reveal Topographer and bottom deck it, because we do want to get to our good cards, or better cards at least. And these are what they're going to draw at the end of the turn. Okay. Now over here. I think they're going to start with a Petra. There's not much use in doing Mudman. They'll do Very Large Telescope. Ooh, ooh. Okay. They'll bury Golem. Well, bottom deck it. That's the top two. And then, yeah, they'll just play Quagmire on Very Large Telescope. Then they'll draw these. Start with Very Large Telescope. Modeler, Companion, Temple. We have the twos to potentially do Temple, so I think we just don't bury any of this, because Modeler is too good to pass up. Oh, Power Lines should have another counter. Yep, there we go. We'll start with pending projects. Look at the top 3 cards of the base deck. Crypt of the Necrodancer. Ooh, Northern Isles. Oh boy, that's good. That's good for them. They want that out as soon as possible, because that's going to allow their residents to go absolutely ham. So they're probably going to do Isles and then Crypt maybe, and then Forest. Forest of Nibel is kind of a nothing base for Legend of Architects. They don't really have the ability to double score it, and the breakpoint doesn't change, whereas these two do have the capacity for it, especially this one. So we'll do this. And then minion. Where are we doing that? We kind of want another base to score, just kind of as soon as possible. Yeah, we did telescope. So I think what we'll do is we'll put Sage on Shambhala, because that's the smallest base. Yep. Do very large telescope. Just like always start with that. Those are all pretty good. I don't think we have the minions to support Mark of Pride right now, so I think we'll get rid of that. And probably play another Petra. It might be good to play that Petra on Shambhala so that we have presence on multiple bases. Yeah. We do telescope, temple, pots, modeler number 2. Modeler number 2 is interesting. Do we need it? We're probably going to play it. We kind of want to use minions that are not power 2 to break Shambhala unless we're holding out for Sacred Temple next turn. Fairy Companion could be that third minion of power 2, but then we're using our Resident to break Shambhala, which we kind of don't want to do. We kind of want to save it for when we've got Northern Isles in play. It's kind of unfortunate that we can't get rid of Quagmire, because we would very much like to do that. So do we get rid of any of these? Not sure if we quite have enough minions to sustain Smash the Pots. Like, we've got Ganondorf, I guess. Let's see. Next turn, we could do Ganondorf Fairy Companion. And that would be 9 power on Shambhala. So we'd still need to plan something out. That is a good way to uh, potentially approach Shambhala, though. So I think we don't bury it or put it on the bottom of the deck. So I think we just leave all of this. Into this turn, play Hyrulean maybe. It's a way to guarantee that we break Shambhala next turn while keeping the Resident out. And it means we might be a little starved for 2s when we have Sacred Temple, but I think we'll probably be able to make it work. Like, we'll have Ancient Sage and Resident for 2 of them, so we just need 1 more. Yeah. So we'll do this. We'll do Power Lines Talent, because I've been forgetting that. And we have action. Action. Could just do Shambhala's ability? Yeah. Yeah. And we'll do this. And that's it. These guys will start with, guess what? Very large telescope. Wow. the other Mark of Pride, Quicksand, Terra Nova. Again, I don't think we have enough minions to support Mark of Pride right now. Kind of want another minion on Shambhala so we can move the Petra away, but at the same time, it just drawing a card wouldn't be the worst thing either. I don't want to put the Mantis Lord there, so we'd be putting the Mudman there. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel right. So yeah, I think we'll just do Mantis Lord on Very Large Telescope, which does power lines, but whatever. That's okay, I think. Then we'll do Mantis Lord talent to place a counter on the Petra. I definitely like that a lot better than doing anything over here. Or doing anything on Shambhala, excuse me. You could use our action play to turn that Sage into a monster. That'd be kind of funny. I think I like that idea. It's mean, but we're here to win, so be mean. This one comes back, and now these guys are sad because their plans have been ruined. Let's do Very Large Telescope. Ooh, Link. Suburbs. I don't think we can support suburbs right now. We're drawing a lot of fours, and yeah. Yeah, we're just drawing a lot of fours, so suburbs isn't going to be quite as good. Sorry, suburbs. Play the modeler on Souk. To move away power lines, maybe? This one back down. I kind of vibe with the idea of doing power lines, of doing modeler on Souk to move over power lines. And then what's our action in that case? Sacred Temple, maybe? Sacred Temple on Souk? Sure. I like that. Then we'll do power lines talent over here. Sacred Temple over here. And in turn, these just get revealed. They don't get drawn yet. We do Very Large Telescope. Oh, actually this comes back first. Okay, now we're seeing our twos. Now we're seeing some minions. I don't think challenge is smart right now. I think it's walking into something a little too cheaply. Could maybe do that if we do Mudman. No, because we don't have Quicksand. Hmm. Geomaster and challenge. That feels a bit excessive. Do Geomaster and challenge on Sook, maybe, and move the Petra over with Mantis Lord. Force the issue that way. Yeah, kind of like that idea. Are we bring anything with this? Bottom decking. We've got two Petras already. I think we can afford to get rid of one of them to get the throne room a bit faster. We'll do this and this. And yes, I recognize that this means that they won't get the card draw from Sook either. They'll both be out two cards, but I think that's okay. Just to force tempo in a way that these guys probably don't really want. All right. I think we leave it there. Nope. Nope. These don't get drawn, they get revealed. And these don't get drawn. They just go back on top. Well, I guess we can do very large telescope. Well, no, this is going to get uncovered first. This breakpoint goes away. Oh, those? Yeah, there. Okay. Now we do very large telescope. What's the other card? Well done, well. What breakpoint is Northern Isles again? 21. Yeah, they have the potential to farm that for draw. Uh, Considering their present situation and the fact that they know that Northern Isles is coming out next turn, I think they want to get to well. They can get rid of a modeler. This goes back down. Oh, does the resident want to react when this goes down? They can put the resident on Shambhala. I don't think they're getting to the 15 power they need for Hylia, though. So I think they'd rather not do that. Oh, we're gonna do this as well. Forgot about that. Yeah, because this is just a lost cause. There's no way they're adding the power they need for that. So I think they accept that they're going to be down 3 over there, and they try and go for stuff elsewhere. The question is just where. If they can break Shambhala, that would be good. Because what they can do is drop the breakpoint by 3 to 12. Fairy Companion is another 3 for 10 out of 12. That'd be 10 out of 11. And then Smash the Pots would make up the difference. So they wouldn't have to use Ganondorf or the Resident. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And Modeler isn't gonna matter. What we could do. Something we could do is move the Modeler over to Shambhala and use Ancient Sage for presence on what's it called? Northern Isles? Oh, no, Central Souk. But that gets rid of the Ancient Sage permanently. Sacred Temple isn't going anywhere because the breakpoint is actually 0. Yeah. So the most Modeler is doing is moving itself away to Shambhala, and then we can move Ancient Sage back to Central Souk. Which, since we're losing Sacred Temple, isn't the biggest deal in the world. It just loses a body off the board. But that is pretty darn efficient. That is extremely efficient, actually, because it doesn't even require any of our regular plays. What are we doing with our regular plays, then? Bury Ganondorf on Telescope? And then action is... I can't do Moon Reset. Smash the Pots isn't useful now. Yeah. Yeah, it's punting on an action, but that might be okay. I don't think it's worth it to put an extra effort for Hylia yet, because there'll be other larger bases coming up. So yeah, I like that plan. Modeler uses its talent to go over to Shambhala. Power Lines gets another counter. It'll use its talent to reduce the breakpoint. Resident's not reacting to any of this. We don't need it to. We don't want it to. Then normal minion is Ganondorf, which gets buried by Quagmire. All right. Both of these bases are eligible for scoring. Architects will choose this one to go first. The Petra draws a card mandatorily. Does it want to move away? I think they want the 1 VP more. Yeah, I'll take the 1 VP over the extra card draw in the body. Yeah. 3 and 1. No treasures to deal out. This all goes away. Ancient Sage is going to come over and get a power counter. Well, -1 power counter. This all goes away. What a surprise! It's the Northern Isles. This is probably the best base in all of the base decks for Legend of Architects. And then we have to score Souk as well. And they can't kick the Ancient Sage off, but that's fine. It's a 4-1. So we get 4, 2, 5. And the Ancient Sage can't move away again because it had a -1 already. We forgot Petra. Do not want to forget that. Because that's going to move away. Yeah, let's not forget that. And it's Crypto the Necrodancer. Wow. Let's get some monsters out. Nope. 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 There we go. Oh boy. That's a big crypt. Okay. And then you draw these cards. That might be a little bit hard to get 15 power on. So the 15 power is probably going to either be on Northern Isles or Very Large Telescope. And then the next base after that is kind of small. So they might be able to hit like a 13 or an 11 or a 12. We'll see though. Alright. Geomantises are up. Quicksand can start backing these guys up on uncovers. I think that's a pretty good idea. So we'll do Quicksand, bury the resident, and Mantis Lord talent. Probably this. Oh, we got telescope as well. We can keep all this. See, that was action. What do we do for minion? We can just do a Mantis Warrior on another base so we have a destination for our Petra. Yeah, sure. Okay. Can't uncover yet. No, this is a pretty simple turn. We're just going to do Link and Well on Northern Isles. Start getting some card draw. Oh, that's going to reduce the breakpoints. We'll uncover, not Ganondorf, we'll uncover the resident first. Now that might be a little bit dangerous because we don't know if they have Traitor Lord or not, and Ganondorf is immune to Traitor Lord. Alright, they draw a card for Well Done Well. Now what? Let's see. We do Very Large Telescope. I don't think we need the other one of these. Can we add 9 power there? I don't think we can. I mean, not that we necessarily want to, because obviously don't want to win on our own turn. This is kind of close. Hem. There's an argument for starting to attack Northern Isles as well, so that we can get rid of this stupidly good base for the opponent out of play. I don't really feel like wasting a warrior on Very Large Telescope when you can play it on Crypt and get it powered up a little bit. So we'll do that. Mantis Lord talent. We'll do this. What's the action? Terra Nova just gets rid of it temporarily. And considering that we're probably going to have a base score pretty soon, it's not going to get rid of it for long enough for that to be a relevant thing. I guess it gets rid of, it doesn't even get rid of all that all, it just buries it. Yeah, okay, so we're good. Okay. Can't uncover this yet. What do we want? What we don't want is to get rid of Northern Isles. So we want to keep stuff away from there. And for now, that's going okay. We could play Moon Reset for power lines. Just start getting that going. Play like Architect on and power lines on Crypt. It's not a bad idea. Because then we get Resident back. Although the resident might not stick around. Well, let's see what we've got with the telescope. Let's start there. Okay, we got another resident. That's good. These are all really good. We're going to keep all these, especially since we're going to draw all of them at the end of the turn. Yeah, I like this. Moon reset. Power lines. Architect. And we use the talent for +1. Boom, boom. I think we do still do this. Just in case, you know? Okay. Now what? What are we doing over here? Kind of want to set this up to break on their next turn. It's unfortunate that Mudman doesn't have any targets. We can play Guyanite instead. So I think what we do is we do Mantis Claw on probably the smaller Mantis Warrior. Move it over, give it -2. Mantis Lord talent. We still need 2 more power there, huh? Well, okay, what we can do instead then is do Guyanite and give that Mantis Claw. Oh. They should have another card. Yeah. Forgot to draw from Well Done Well. Yeah. Okay with that. Talent. I should probably do that, huh? Probably use a telescope. Golem. Not yet. That was minion and action. I think we're good. -2 wears off. And they're going to be able to stockpile for 4 pretty soon. Okay. So that's enough power on very large telescope right now, but these guys are definitely going to move the resident away unless they can like, actually break the base and win. Although with the Petra, the Petra is 6, so that's 8 power that's staying there, and they got the Guyanite. Yuck. Yeah, like that's a lot of stuff they can just move if they so wanted to. Uh, uh, so it's possible we can try and go for very large telescope, but I'm kind of concerned that that would result in losing the base, which is, for obvious reasons, not good. This is kind of interesting. Play another resident on Northern Isles and start bouncing things around. And it's kind of too bad that we don't have a Sacred Temple out. Although it'll only be 2 anyway, so. Hmm. Civil engineering. Can get the can we get the breakpoint down low enough to score highly on crypt? It would be kind of incredible if they could, because that would get them one more highly a score away from actually winning. But that seems kind of difficult. Like they'd need to reduce the breakpoint by 15? Yeah, that seems very difficult. Um, because these guys have 5 power total, and to hit a target of 15, there would need to be 20 total power there. If Link was there, that would help a lot, but he's not. What do we got coming up with Very Large Telescope? Hmm. I don't think that's anything useful. Yeah. Keep keep that. Geo expertise could be good with Northern Isles out if we can keep it out. We've already got to smash the pots. I think we can very smash the pots. Maybe we just don't do anything this turn. If we play a resident on Northern Isles, that reduces these breakpoints by 1. So both the residents can react and say move to crypt. But that's going to change Northern Isles again, so they can move again. So that would be they'd both be 4s. This would be at 3 charges. It drops the breakpoint to 32. They both be 5s, so they come over, and that's 15 power. 20 out of 32. Yeah, no, they're not even close. Very large telescope. If they can break a very large telescope and potentially win it, like at least be ahead in power without playing the second resident, that would be nice. It seems kind of hard. Mm, yeah, seems kind of hard. Could be possible. Maybe with Fairy Companion. Let's think. Hmm. We would need to add 9 at least. Uh, that's potentially. We could potentially score Hylia. Okay, so let's think if we can. Yeah, adding 9 power would score Hylia. It's not safe from Traitor Lord unless we put Hylian Shield there. It would be safe from Pincer Attack if all the minions are 5 or greater. So it'd be 3 minions of power 5, basically, probably. If we can manage that, that would be good. Yeah, that would probably be worth using the Resident for. The question is just, can we manage that? Yeah, we did Telescope already. The Resident would need to move 3 times. Um, Fairy Companion. Fairy Companion Smash the Pots could be the answer. That makes Ganondorf a 6. Hmm. In order to be safe from all of their specials. Well, no, even yeah, Pitfall does it in. So it's never guaranteed. So maybe we just do it the most efficient way possible, and what happens, happens. Yeah, I think I like that better. And I think the most efficient way of getting to exactly 15 is... What is it? We took the -2 off. Yeah. Took the -2 off, so that's all correct. Hmm. What's the most efficient way to do that? Fairy Companion would be 10, 11 once Ganondorf's power kicks in. Resident moves. We play Civil Engineering. Yeah, it's kind of a waste of Civil Engineering, I guess, but it's not the worst thing ever. On the other hand, Zelda? No, I kind of want to keep Zelda around. I'd rather use Zelda in a better way, in a more of an engine capacity. Fairy Companion would be 10, 11. We would still need to add 3 more actual power. So Smash the Pots might be better. Let's think here. We can do Smash the Pots to play a minion on Northern Isles. Yeah. Just playing a minion on Northern Isles allows stuff to happen. So maybe we smash the pots and play a resident on Northern Isles, but we're not going to move both of them over. Yeah. So smash the pots, resident. This reduces these breakpoints, which allows resident to move and gain +1. And this is the resident we're going to use. Resident moves, gains +1. Power lines. The breakpoints go back up because a minion was removed from Northern Isles. Oh, this should be 34 right now because I forgot to take back the increase from power lines at the beginning of the turn. But now this resident can move back over and gain another +1. Another +1. Maybe we don't. Let's not move this resident yet. Yeah, because if we do this right, let's see, this one moves over here first. We're not going to move this one yet because we want to keep the minion on Northern Isles so that we can move it back later. Yeah. So this is the resolution for playing the resident done. Now we resolve Magnificent Power Line's talent. Increase the breakpoint by 2. This changes the breakpoint, which allows resident to move, resident to move. A minion was removed from Northern Isles, so the breakpoints go back up, so resident can move over. We're not going to worry about this, so we're just going to take it off. And now the resident is a 5, so our normal minion can be Fairy Companion for 5. And Ganondorf will gain a power for the minion having a counter. I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, that's what we'll go with anyway. All right. Very large telescope scores. Petra has to draw a card first. Oops. So much for that. They actually would have gotten it too if they didn't draw Traitor Lord. This is a good stockpile. 4 cards. They can just send 9 power with Traitor Lord, no, 10 power with Traitor Lord and Fairy wherever they want. Where are they going to do that? Crypt, probably. Oops. It's yeah, it's hard because stockpile drew us so many cards, and And they drew it from the Petra anyway, but like still. Let's see, do they want to move the Petra even? Oh no, it's only 3. My bad. I think this is the last card. I thought Mantis Claw was a minion for some reason. Do we need to move the Petra away? No, I don't think we want to, because I think we want the 4VP. And I think we can manage without the extra 7 power on Crypt. I think we can get away with it. Okay. Yep, that's it. 6, 2, 9. And again, this is just how Geomantises win games. They're mean. At least Northern Isles is still in play. That gives Architects a fighting chance. Alright, end turn. They draw 3. TTS slag, we love it. Another Resident's good. Can they break this base? Hmm. I don't think so. Not quite, at least. What we can do is what do we want to do? Because we kind of want to win another base after Crypt. We'll be at 14. So we don't necessarily want to put all of our eggs in the Crypt basket. I suppose what we can do is do Mantis Lord here. Throne Room on the Forest. Mantis Warrior there. And then Mantis Lord does this. Yeah. Oh, and that powers up the power lines. For what that's worth. This is going to be pretty hard to overcome. What can they do, though? Surely they can do quite a bit. Civil engineering for extra resident movement to Northern Isles is pretty good. If they score Forest of Nibel, it will be triggering Hylia, but at the same time, giving them any VP is kind of a death sentence because then they can just score Crypt. So they kind of have to go for Northern Isles. This goes back down by 2. If they can go for Northern Isles, then they should, definitely. It's tricky. Can I do Triforce? I don't think so. They can only get one more resident out. They can't depower anybody. It would help if they were able to move the Architect. Northern Isles could be within reach, but I don't think with Hylia. Maybe that doesn't matter at this point. They just need something. Yeah. If they can score Northern Isles at all, that might be worth it. Because they definitely can't do it with Hylia. Even Civil Engineering and Link would only get them down to 18 breakpoint, 16 power, and they need 15 power. Hylian Shield would be more breakpoint reduction, but they can't get any of their modifiers out of play. Because they can't like trigger Triforce or something. The best way to go about breaking Northern Isles would be a resident here that reduces these breakpoints. Allows this guy to come over. Boom, boom, more power. Breakpoints go back up because a minion left Northern Isles. Boom, boom. That's 8 power. That's 12 out of the 18 they'd need. Power lines can raise the breakpoint by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. React again. That's 10. Yeah. Gonna be just a couple power short, looks like. And then all they can do now is civil engineering, which, yeah. Civil engineering, we'll just demonstrate. Residents react, and gain +1. Yeah, 2 power short. And they can obviously go back over somewhere else, but they can't get back to Northern Isles after that point. Well, okay. It's 12 power, so that would be a total of 16 power when all is said and done, which is 21 over there. You know what? It's a Hail Mary, but it might be what they need to do. Yeah, so when they move over to Northern Isles, they can react to go somewhere else because the breakpoint's changed. But when they go over there, and then the breakpoints change again when they move away, so they can go back over here. And that is 21 power to 21 power. We've seen Traitor Lord already. Pincer Attack doesn't do anything. Pitfall would. The best they can do is tie. Um, yeah, I'm not seeing a way for them to squeeze one more power out of this. Let's see, because we play the Resident. They can. The Resident gives. Okay, how many activations were there? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 activations. That was playing the Resident of Northern Isles, moving the Resident away from Northern Isles, power lines for 3, civil engineering for 4 to move to Northern Isles, the fact that we moved minions to Northern Isles for 5. Did I miscount this? At the start of the turn, we had 1 resident. We play a minion. We play a resident on Northern Isles, and that changes breakpoints once. When we move it away, that changes them again. We activate power lines for 3. Civil engineering is a 4th activation, which moves minions to Northern Isles. Moving minions to Northern Isles decreases breakpoints, which is 5, which allows them to move away, and then moving the minions away from Northern Isles is 6. Yeah, it's only 6 activations. They can't get to 7. It's a lot of activations, but it's not enough to get more power. So they can really only tie here. That puts the score at 11 to 14, which is obviously not great. Although they can double score Northern Isles by moving away with Architect. Oh, you know what? This might be good. This might be good. Yeah, we'll go with this. Because I think if Geomancer if Geomancers don't have any specials that can affect things, then they actually do just win right here by double scoring Northern Isles. That's insane. Wow. Okay. Do they have anything? They don't. Pincer Attack. They only have 4 minions there, and these are all definitely uh, greater than Power 3. None of this does anything. Wow. Well, would you look at that? Both players get 5 VP. We distribute treasures after the base score, after cleanup, Architect. Uh, when we did civil engineering, this would be a 24, I think, because something's getting increased by civil engineering. But okay, the fact that when we play civil engineering, we can drop Northern Isles and increase crypt and still score it because the breakpoint would be 42. Yeah, it's 4, 8, plus 7 is 15. So plus 15 from the monsters makes 35. Power lines was an increase by 5 for 40. So it should be 39 anyway. Okay, yeah. The base definitely scores, is the point. Architect will move one of the other minions to a base different than its starting breakpoint, which will be Resident. to go over to Northern Isles. This drops breakpoints. It doesn't drop that breakpoint, actually. So the other resident can't follow it to there. Huh. The other resident can't follow it to there. I misjudged that. Okay, so I guess they don't win right now. But what they can do is at least do this, which doesn't immediately end the game, assuming that Wishing Ring doesn't come out. But yeah, this is a winnable game for them. Yeah, they don't immediately win, but they don't immediately lose either. And this diffuses the big win threat, obviously. And all this power is going to go away. And Northern Isles is still in play. Yeah, this is good. Okay. Oh, both players have to discard a card. Get rid of Shield, and they'll get rid of Terra Nova, probably. No, Terra Nova is good to get rid of Northern Isles. Soil. I actually don't know how you distribute treasures in case of a tie for first. We're going to go with active player gets first pick. How many treasures are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boots. Jetpack. Potion of line cutting. Tiger Seed. Dungeon Rulebook. I'll take the boots. Probably Dungeon Rulebook. Cool. Game's not over yet. This should be 20. Power goes away. Power goes away. We've got a game on our hands. And this is definitely a problem for Geomantises, because even though Legend of Architects has to get a solo, they can bounce their stuff to basically... Oh, they need another card from Well. They can bounce their stuff anywhere with Northern Isles. So they've got to cover a lot of bases. Unless they can just break Force and Naval right now. Can they? They don't have a Mantis Lord, so it's going to be a little bit harder. Was there a throne room there? No, there's not. Okay. I don't want to do Landslide because that's going to allow them to activate residents for free. This is a tight spot. Don't want to put something on Northern Isles because that's going to make it easier. So I guess we put a Petra there. We'll do Quicksand to bury a resident. And that'll buy some time. Yep. They're close to winning. They are legitimately close to winning a game. Just gotta play this carefully. They can trigger Sacred Temple if they play a Hyrulean. And then uncover the Resident next turn. Or at the end of the turn, excuse me. And Tiger Steed can potentially do some stuff as well. Kick off the Mantis Petra. And we have the Boots of Running really fast. This could be a win for Legend of Architects. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in hand. That's another thing that the treasures are helping with Winter's Redoubt. That's convenient. They just have to be a little bit careful because they don't want to accidentally break, like, allow Geomantises to, like, break Force of Night or something. Speaking of which, they should have played something there last turn with Throne Room. Oh no, they didn't have anything to play. That's right. That's right, yeah. So, like, Zelda. It'd be nice if they could just, like, break Winter's Route now, but I don't think they can. They can also do Triforce. I think getting the Resonance to exactly 3 is going to be a little bit harder, though, so Sacred Temple's probably better. Based on that last turn, they're kind of starving for cards. They need time, so it might be okay to play Zelda. Leaving 7 out of 20 on Redoubt isn't the worst idea. Probably better than leaving Forests that close. And something worth noting here is that if they hit Hylia on Northern Isles, then the game would keep going, even if it's not a solo, because the score would be 16-16. Yeah, I think they keep their options open. Uh, Putting Zelda on Northern Isles is something they could do. Or I can just play the Hyrulean. No. Hyrulean's gonna get played with Winners of Doubt. Where do you put stuff? You could put both of them on Winners, and that's 8 out of 20 if you don't use Zelda's talent, which would probably be smart, because I think they've got more than enough gas to break Winners next turn with both Residents. Actually, speaking of which, can they do that next turn? Can they do that next turn without playing Zelda? That's probably a good place to start. Because they'd have a resident out. They'd have 2 residents out. They can play Hyrulean. We're assuming they play Sacred Temple. It's like they have Hyrulean, so they can play Tiger Steed and Boots to kick off 2 defenders. One of which is this Petra here, presumably. So that would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When we uncover the resident, that's an extra 2, an extra 4. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 for the activations. Sacred Temple would be another 6 for, what is that? This should only be, uh, what was I? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Temple would be 16. Uh, Tiger Steed would be 19. So they would need Zelda's power. Yeah, they would. Interesting. Okay. So they do need to play Zelda. Oh, they need to uncover the resident now. That makes this tough. They need to uncover the resident now, and not at the start of the turn, because of quicksand. That makes this difficult. So maybe we do working after hours to grab power lines? I don't know. Hmm. We can also play Tiger Steed now to kick off the Petra anyway. But we might need to go for Northern Isles instead. Oh man, this is hard. Can they do it knowing that they can't uncover the resident at the start of the turn? Hmm. Another option is going for Force of Nibel and getting Hylia, which would probably require power lines. It would certainly be easier, I think. Would it be easier? A lot of this depends on whether or not they see Master Sword. If they see Master Sword, it helps a ton. Oh man. I think the safest thing for them to do is go for Winters. Because Northern Isles is a lot harder. Um, if they have to uncover the resident, can they still use like power lines or some? Can they use working after hours to grab power lines? Because we don't know whether or not they'll have an action to spare to play the boots. I still think Zelda and Hyrulean on Winter's Redoubt is the safest play because it keeps our options open, because Zelda can give the Hyrulean a counter to remove. Ooh, Hyrulean with a counter can go to Northern Isles. Okay, yeah. That works then. Okay, that'll work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They need to not play more cards, discard the Hyrulean. Ah. Hmm. Can only play one or the other. If they want to, they can only play one of the 3 cards they need to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They need at least 11 cards to discard with Winters. Gosh. Can they do it without Temple? That would be 6, no, 4, 6, 8, 10. Hyrulean moves over to trigger Residence, but how does it move back? The whole point of playing the Hyrulean is to be able to trigger Sacred Temple. Man, this is hard. Oh, man. How does the Hyrulean move? It still keeps the options open, I guess. It does trigger Residence, at least. So, if we're saying we don't have the Hyrulean on Winter's Redoubt, that's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 with the activations from Northern Isles. 15 with Tiger Steed. That's interesting. It's all the power they would need. And if there's not a second defender there, then they can do, what's it called? Tiger Steed, or Sacred Temple. Yeah, a lot of this just depends on whether or not they draw Master Sword. I think we... Triforce could be right, because you can play Tiger Steed as a 3. And then you have the ability to make your Residence 3s if you give up a couple of power. Triforce instead of... Could play the Hyrulean on Northern Isles. That would keep things flexible, probably. Because it's more opportunities potentially for Residence to trigger if it moves off. Say with Sacred Temple. Yeah, yeah, we'll do that. And we play Sacred Temple. Spread this out. Okay. They have Master Sword. Oh boy. Nice. Draw a card with the well. Alright. Yes, they have 10 cards, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Oh boy. They've got Master Sword. That makes this a whole lot easier. This is how you know I'm playing things from only that player's perspective, because in the back of my head, I knew that they had Terra Nova over here. So they're absolutely getting rid of Northern Isles. So yeah, they're starting with that. 100%, no question. What minion are they playing? Mudman to bury the resident again? Yeah, I think so. Well, that doesn't leave a minion out, is the thing. You kind of need minions out, just in general. They definitely need minions out. But having one fewer resident makes it that much less likely that they'll be able to score it. Because there's no way that they can score anything this turn. They're kind of just holding on for dear life at this point. They're just stalling for time. I don't even know what they're looking for at this point. Because one, two, they've got another Mantis Lord. Or do they? One, two, yeah, they do. They've got another Mantis Lord they can see, but they've used both leaders, used challenge, they've got rock and roll. Yeah, I think we can do this. Just keep it buried. All right, go with it. Pitfall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's get to work. Do they win this turn? With Master Sword, it's not out of the question. Without Northern Isles, it's a lot less likely. One thing is for sure, they can start with Korok Puzzle, no matter what. And just destroy it immediately, because they've got a 5, a 3, and a 2. Just need any base solo. Yeah, I still think the easiest thing to do would be Hylia Forest. That would basically require 3 minions of power 5 with Master Sword or Tiger Seed. The former is probably a little bit easier. No Northern Isles makes this much different. Let's see. Pumpkin Patch Rhythm kind of doesn't work in their favor if they want to uncover the resident, because they can play like Zelda there to take it off, to turn it off. Send the Hyrulean away by placing a -1 on it. So it's actually a 2. And then the resident uncovers, which turns it on. Mudman turns it off, but then a minion turns it on. They might not be able to score it though, so that might not be the worst thing ever. They have to play this very carefully. The other option is just play a third resident and like hope they see working after hours could do some work. Yeah, unfortunately, the longer this goes on, the more likely it is that they're not going to be able to pull off a solo, especially if they have to use working after hours to grab power lines. Uh, they can trigger Triforce this turn. Huh. What do they have in their deck? This is breaking my brain. They can trigger Triforce, but that's substituting one card play now for another card play later. And none of the cards they have quite. Well, okay. If they pulled Suburbs, it would have the talent to play a minion on Redoubt, which could be Tiger Steed. So that is removal. Playing Tiger Steed as the normal minion doesn't work, I think. In order to use Triforce, they need to do Topographer, I think. Can they just break Pumpkin Patch? Like, is that so hard? Maybe we can just break Pumpkin Patch. Um, can they? If they play Zelda on Pumpkin Patch, that makes Link and Zelda both threes, but the Hyrulean becomes a one, and Zelda can only make it a two. Um, okay. Zelda can do this. We can trigger Sacred Temple. Can we? We'd have one. We can do uh, two, or make any of them a two with Zelda, but that doesn't help. What is the goal here? Fascinating street. Could be fascinating, potentially. Man. Fascinating Street is a fascinating card. We can do Topographer. Topographer. If we have 3 minions of power 4, we have to do some math if we're trying to use Fascinating Street. Because we have to hit 15 power. Alright, let's just think through this. Let's just think through this like, on the board. So this is the breakpoint reduction we would need. And that powers up the resident. Then we can play Triforce. What are we trying to do with this? I don't think that works. Yeah, we gotta. No, North Niles isn't in play, so we don't have to worry about these. Man. This would be 5 Triforce. I don't think Triforce helps. Triforce can turn into suburbs. Okay, on the other hand, how can we feasibly trigger Sacred Temple? Well, we've got Resident. I think we're just trying to hold on for one more turn, I guess. You can play Triforce. Just this turn. We're gonna be discarding some cards. We can think about that at that point. Yeah, I don't think they're winning this turn. I'm just not seeing the line. In which case, we prepare to win next turn, hopefully. And the way we can do that is play like Hyrulean and Zelda and Triforce. Because we're going to discard. We're going to discard some stuff with what's it called? And I shuffled this to make sure I don't know the order of the cards. Yeah. Discard, draw, and discard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Where'd that Hyrulean go? Oh, I played it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Resident. We got that instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Still got to discard 2 cards. We're not using all these topographers. I don't think we're using that. It's cards, man. Oh, and I think Zelda, I think, wants a -1? Unless, no. No, that can't be. -1 to help trigger, what's it called? Triforce. Makes sense to me. Yeah, because I think we're going for Nibel with Hylia. Okay, what are these guys doing? Yeah, Pitfall makes sure that they don't score Hylia. It's funny. They don't know that, though. Oh, and they're uncovering the resident as well over here. So that's going to make these all -1s. Uncover the Mudman, which turns it back into +1s. Can they add the 10 power over there? I don't know. I don't think they can add the 10 power. I think they're still just stalling. Yuck. They can use Dungeon Rulebook to take out Triforce. I think that's the best thing for them to do. They need presence. Yeah, they don't have to worry about Forest because they can Pitfall that one. I think they leave Pumpkin Patch as it is to make that a little bit harder. So I think what they can do is Golem on Winter's Redoubt and Dungeon Rulebook. Take out Triforce. Oh, that goes to the treasure discard pile, obviously. Because 2 defenders is a lot harder to take care of than 1. Alright. Draw. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they got the Mantis Lord. That's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Do they win this turn? Okay. Do they win this turn? It's not trivial because, well, no. The residents, we can pretty much make the same power, and Tiger Steed, we can work out. We do need a way to play um, Topographer and Tiger Steed, I think. Unless we just go for Pumpkin Patch. Maybe we just go for Pumpkin Patch and say forget about Sacred Temple. Because let's see, Topographer would reduce the breakpoint to 21. The residents react and move over, so that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, oh, and then you just Master Sword away the defender over there. Huh. Oh, nice. Finally, it's simple. Topographer. Residents react. They get +1 each. And these two now receive power from Pumpkin Patch. Oh my gosh, that took so long. And now we need a game 3. Because Master Sword. Woohoo! Because we have the 3 residents who are all power 4. It's 3 minions of the same power. Yep. Oh my gosh. Oh man. That was intense. Final score 15-14. That is insane. Wow. Okay. I'll see you in game 3, I guess. All right, this is a game 3 I was not expecting to have to record, but here we are. Since Geomantis has lost the last game, they'll be taking the first turn. Everybody's got a minion. We're using the high-risk base deck, which is going to be a lot of fun. Well, let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do, probably just play the Golem on Warcrafters. I don't feel like putting something on open excavation, putting 5 away. And the question is, do we want to exchange with Warcrafters? Uh, with this hand, let's get rid of a Mark of Pride. And this is the Marketplace deck. What do we get? Okay, sure. Oh, do we want to play in action? Nah. Okay. Hey, Leah. What you doing? If I remember correctly, the high-risk base deck tends to be on the slightly larger side, so we'll do 16 this time. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see. Although we've got a 17, a 20, and a 7 out right now, so maybe we just do the same 15 we've been doing. They will not be using Warcrafters, or yeah, they will not be using Warcrafters. Mono Iwato is very, very annoying for this deck. So for now, we'll just play Resident, and that's it. Okay. What are they doing? Gaia probably. We can just do Gaia and Claws to score open excavation. It's not the best thing ever. It's not the worst thing ever either. It just opens up the field a little bit, and that's going to be important for both decks. But getting a VP, not the worst thing ever. Is that worth it though? What we can do is we can do Gaia first onto Warcrafters. Get rid of Terra Nova probably. It's not like that stops open excavations rampage, so yeah, I'll do this. Huh. Wow. Okay, good to know. That's good. Then Gaia will react to itself, move over, and the claws of attack. And in case you don't know what's going on with open excavation, it is wild. Alright, open excavation scores. This all goes away. Do you own the stuff you get from the Marketplace deck? I assume you do. Yeah, now we'll put it over here, actually. I don't remember if you own the Marketplace cards, but I assume you don't. But then again, there's no, it doesn't specify there's a Marketplace discard pile. I'll check with Lennon later. Courtroom number 3. Well, that could be good for these guys. Let's do power lines, and let's do... Link is probably not going to be successful in scoring Hylia on Courtroom with only 15 there, so we'll do Modeler instead. And we'll do this, just because we can. Yeah, we'll do Courtroom. Oh no, it's only another player with a minion there. Interesting. Okay. Oh, open excavation should be under here. What are we doing? Doing this stuff. Do Mudman. Help the golem draw a card, I guess. Not the worst thing ever. With Traitor Lord challenge wouldn't be the worst idea ever. Certainly help kick things off. Kick the game off, I mean. Huh. That would probably be better served in courtroom because that's 6 maybe? Mm, you know, that's a cool long-term plan, like for a couple turns from now. But right now, I don't think it's the best idea because um, we can't. We would have to use Trader Lord, and we're not guaranteed to get. We're not guaranteed that that's going to be able to swing it by itself. So that's good to keep in mind. So I think we'll just leave it there. Oh, did I want to use Warcrafters? Ankh is cool. I don't think it's necessarily useful for these guys because they're swarm. This is more suited for singularly good minions. It's not like we can get Trader Lord value out of this if we're using it to swing a base. So yeah, when we play Mudmen, we'll do the Ankh. Ooh, what does that do again? It's this. Okay, cool. So keep that in mind, and then we draw. And yeah, they're just gonna do this, even though it draws the other guys a card. Just having the minions is gonna be important. Yeah, 2 and a 4. Sacred Temple's not quite getting there. Hmm. What are we doing? Could just play another resident on. Or we can just play Architect. Let's not play Architect yet, because we can use that for big drop later. So we'll play another resident. And we'll play Geo Expertise on it. Oh, thank you. Actually, no, with Sacred Temple in hand, it's better to play Geo Expertise on the modeler, so we can keep it as a 2. And then we'll use Power Lines. Okay. Bit of a slow start. Yeah, now challenge on Courtroom is getting a little farther out of reach. And play the red Drake egg, I guess. Quagmire might be better. Quagmire might be good in preparation for challenge, actually. Yeah. And then we'll make them present something. Present, yeah. And we'll present Sacred Temple. Drops the breakpoint. And start a turn, breakpoint goes back down from power lines. I guess we can record that the residents can power up. But if this one moves over, then they're going to have to berate or discard a card, which is kind of awful. They could just uncover it again. They can just uncover it again. And this should have a counter from, what's it called? Hold on. Alright, and we're back. What were we doing? What were we doing? Oh yes, we were debating whether or not to move the resident into Quagmire, because we can just bury it and then immediately uncover it again, which is kind of nifty. Yeah, because it's still starter turn. And that would give power lines some more stuff. I think give power lines a lot more stuff, actually. Huh. They could be able to win it. Maybe. It's giving up Sacred Temple, but I don't think we're doing that anyway. Sure. And it gets buried, and then uncovered. It doesn't get the power, though. That's okay. So we can drop this breakpoint by 5. Drop that breakpoint by 5. Oh, the breakpoint changed last turn. Yeah, the breakpoint changed last turn, so this should have one more power counter. And then this one changed again this turn. Yes, it did. So it's got all the power counters from Courtroom. Let's see. Power lines can drop the breakpoint to 28, and then there'll be 16 power. Architect would make play Architect first for 17, 6 power counters, 17, 19. Then you drop the breakpoint to 27, 21 out of 27. Is there an action that can do that much? I don't think so. It would be difficult. We'll see what they do. Will they present a card or discard a card? Maybe they just get rid of the Drake Egg, because presenting a card seems unwise. But the Drake Egg is actually kind of good. Like, it certainly They don't want to present a card, just in case. Yeah, they'll discard the Drake Egg, I think. That's sad. So sad. But yeah, they're not gonna present a card, that'd be stupid. Let's see, is there a base modifier that would do the trick here? Let's think. I think there is. Fascinating street. Oh, it's move. Suburbs. Which one is suburbs? Okay. Do we have a minion to play? The Hyrulean? Okay, so if we theoretically played the Hyrulean and Architect, that would be 14 plus 5 is 19, plus another 2 is 21. The breakpoint would drop by 7 to 26. These react for 23 out of 26. That's 3 short. Okay, other options. Suburbs. That's the one we were looking at. No, no, no. Wait, actually. Second power lines would be worth 3. Yeah, I may as well just play Civil Engineer at that point if I had it in hand. Can't use that. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, none of it does anything. Shuffle it. Yeah, they can't quite. Yeah, they cannot quite get there, I don't think. Yeah, no, I don't think so. There's a lot of interesting options here, but I don't think any of them actually work. So instead, they will probably play a Hyrulean. Mono Iwado even. It doesn't matter if it has the ability or not. For that, at least. For scoring this at least. Yeah, put something there. We can do working after hours to like grab Triforce or something. Probably better than not playing an action when it's in hand. Triforce. Put that on Warcrafters for sure. Yeah, I think I like that better than Korok. And Korok is an option. It sifts 4 cards out of the deck with working after hours. And yes, because this resident is a 3, they can trigger it. You know, I think I like that better. Because their hand is so small. Korok puzzle. Then they'll destroy it. Yeah, that's nice. And yes, that was minion and action. Okay, that's it. The power goes away. Oh, they're obviously gonna do power line salad. Okay, so I think the plan over here is stall and fall back. Probably. They can uncover the Mudman, take a gamble. I kind of want another minion there so that they can move the Petra away and still get VP. So play a Golem there, I guess. They don't need to uncover the Mudman yet, so they probably shouldn't. Maybe they... No, that's not smart. They shouldn't play challenge. Unless... that could be a good diversion. Since they have Traitor Lord. Well, I can only get up to 7 power there with Traitor Lord. It could still be good. I think they gotta play a little bit fast, considering that this could be about to explode. They should uncover the Mudman if they're gonna do that. Yeah. And they don't want to do Warcrafters, I don't think. Yeah. Create a diversion, buy some time. If that's if that's what they're doing, they should play a Petra on here instead. Get some more draw. It does run the risk of this Petra being stranded, but it would still draw a card if that was the case. And it would be really efficient VP. So it's not the worst thing ever. Gives it a chance to bounce back here. Sure. If both these score, then they're both stranded. Is that okay? Both bases would be scoring anyway. Yeah, that's okay. Ooh, Pincer Attack, that's good. Makes that much more likely to be a solo. I mean, they've already got Traitor Lord, but okay. Warcrafters is exploding. They've got Sacred Temple that they can trigger. This goes down to 33, which triggers the residence. Oh, this breakpoint changed last turn when challenge was played. So this should have another counter. That modeler is a 10. That's funny. I mean, Architect could move the modeler over for some presence. It's not likely to. There's only one card that could thwart that, and that's Pitfall. And with 24 cards left in the deck, I think it's okay to take that chance. I think it's very likely that they can break the base this turn. Because we've got Sacred Temple. You don't need to do a mono. I think they just stick to their guns and go for Courtroom. So that's definitely playing Architect. Oh, this is fine. The green one. Thank you. And we drop it. Boom. 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 Hey, discard a card, or let me break the base. And this time they're probably going to just play Golem. I haven't had many times to play rock and roll. Oh, they have to discard a card for playing something there on Quagmire. Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna play Sacred Temple as their action. They have to get rid of something though. Get rid of a Hyrulean for playing Arc Architect. And they'll play Sacred Temple. And okay, we do have to do this before we do anything else. Because the residents still need to be 2s. So yeah, we're doing this before we do what's it called? Power lines or Arc Architect. How did they change twice? How did they change twice again? I'm bugging out. How do they change twice? Should they have only changed once? Maybe they should have only changed once. But yeah, regardless, backing up. Sacred Temple. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. We know they're not going to do that. Sacred Temple. Da, 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 da. It's funny, they finally scored one of the puzzles. Oh, it's from this wearing off last turn. Yeah, we don't want to give them power for that because that makes them not 2s for Sacred Temple, and this is obviously more power. Now we do this. This gets added. We reduce the breakpoint. The residents get power. Yeah. Okay. That was minion and action. Okay. And now we have to discard the Hyrulean. Okay. Courtroom number 3 scores. And Petra has to draw a card. Quicksand. Traitor Lord here would be 7, 9, 9 to 20. Yeah, no. Okay, they're gonna just leave it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 1, 2, 3. Open excavation VP. Oh, what is this? Arc Architect. It should be an 11, right? 9. No, it should be. Yes, should be the 10. Arc Architect moves away. It's kind of funny that it's almost just breaking normally. These guys can't fall off. That's okay. All right. What is getting added to the open excavation pile? It is Outer Shores. Oh boy. I think we're going to keep the base modifiers on the player mats normally now over here. Oh boy. And then this scores. They're going to drop Traitor Lord. Do they have to drop? Yeah, they do have to drop Traitor Lord. Just for raw 5 power. Yeah. And that's it. Do they want to do something in the marketplace deck? No, I don't think so. These are all good. Oh, Petra doesn't draw a card. It would have been nice if that was Pitfall. 4 and 2. I'd call that mostly a success. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh boy. a mono Iwato and Dark Thicket. Nice. Awesome. What are these guys doing? Probably going for Out of Shores. This seems like the most straightforward thing to do. It would be very nice if they could make this a solo on Outer Shores. They can also put this on Dark Thicket. It wouldn't be a huge loss. But I think Outer Shores is just better. Oh, we can make them present a card again. Power Lines. It's just going to get played. Oh, Pitfall. That's good. What are these guys doing? I think now we can float Link. Oh, no, they can't do that. Because the other guys don't have a minion there. Now we can float Link and Power Lines. Oh, this is annoying. We're gonna have to put Power Lines like right here to make sure the power counters don't count. No, we'll do stasis counters. Yeah. Okay. Uh, hmm. Let's think here. Quicksand exists, certainly. Hmm. Yeah, we'll do quicksand. Just slow them down a little bit. I think we need to slow them down. Just play a Mudman as a 3. And now we can do this. Present something. And we'll present Ancient Sage, probably. And they would much rather present than discard. Man, they're just not drawn well. Okay, what's I doing over here? This gets another one. Ancient Sage and Triforce? Yeah, like that idea. Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll make them present a card. I think that this they would probably much rather present. That's something that they might need that reduction. That's something that they're not going to play anytime soon. They got a quicksand probably. Yeah, leave it here. And then they'll uncover Link, which gives them a card draw. Ooh, Gaia Knight, that's nice. Hmm. Let's think here. Oh, this should be, yeah, it's at +3 from power lines, but -4 from presented cards, but +5 from excavation, so 22 is correct. Oh my gosh, that's so much stuff. Hmm. We could use landslide to bereave Link again. Sort of a fan of that. Just really back them up. Can we use presenting stuff to our advantage here? Because, yeah, we can't uh, score the base. Yeah, there's only 4. We can only add 6, 8 if you count another presented card, maybe. I think maybe just leave it. Just leave it for now. We'll do, yeah, be gutsy. I suppose it's not exactly that gutsy, but, you know, bury Link again. Oh, bountiful soil. That would be so nice. This gets another thing. This goes down. And yeah, this is kind of annoying for them. They've got a 3, a 4, and that's it. So they can't use Triforce yet. What are they playing this turn? Might be nice to play Hylian Shield there, because I think this base is going to matter a lot. Yeah, unless we can just score it. Oh, yeah. Well, no. Can't score it and win. I don't think, anyway. Because we can reduce it by 4 to, what is that, 15? Yeah, we can break it. Use Modeler to pull over the Hyrulean. That's 3, 7, 11? Yeah? Hmm. It's not a bad idea, actually. Modeler will pull over. Well, we'll do this first. Then Modeler will pull over the Hyrulean. I have a feeling that if they can swing 1, they can swing 2. So we'll do this to draw a card with the Hyrulean's talent. Yeah, it's not like it stops Hylia or whatever. And doesn't enable Triforce or anything. But yeah, this is probably fine. How many cards are left in their deck? 15? Yeah, I think we just gotta flush stuff out. It's a bit of a hard hole to come back out of if I'm wrong, if they're wrong, but Dark Thicket solo is not out of the question. Alright, leave it here. Outer Shores is scoring. Got 1, 2, 3 minions. They can use Pincer Attack then. Oops, Pincer Attack. Get rid of the Sage. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Yep. That's it. Yeah, no more specials over here. So these guys get 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Open Excavation VP. And now we do Outer Shores. Oh boy. It's a good thing I kept the green bag out. What faction are Geomancers pulling from? Uh, I don't feel like I want to spend too much time thinking about this. Who's got powerful actions? They just need to close something out at this point. So Boxers are probably not a bad pick. Yeah, Boxers are probably not a bad pick. Brewers could also be a good pick. Uh, unless you mostly get the ones that want you to have box cards. No, we'll just go with Boxers. And they get 4 actions because they scored 4 VP. Thanks, Open Excavation. So you get Haymaker, Bob and Weave. Ooh, Bob and Weave. That's a good hit. They can use that right now. Quick Jabs, also good. Title Belt. Okay, cool. And yeah, they're gonna use Bob and Weave now, but what do these guys want? They probably want removal. So War Mages? War Mages could make sense. Who else has removal? Barbarians, technically, but that's not a likely hit. War Mages is just a much more likely hit, especially since they're only getting 2 cards. Yeah, War Mages are probably the best bet for what they need. Instant Fortress, Meteor Strike. That'll have to do. Alright. Goodbye, Link. You tried. Yeah, they had 8 power. It was 8 to 9, right? Because they had... Yeah, the Hyrulean had... the Hyrulean had 1 counter, so it was 7 to 9, not 8 to 9. Okay. Outer Shores joins the pile. Wait, no, it is still -4. No, it's not -4. It's +1 because there's 2 presented cards, but open excavation increases by 5. All right, that's it. Oh, I forgot Bob and Weave. Bob and Weave. We'll move the Gaia Knight and draw a card. Right? Yeah. And it looks like we already drew for them, right? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have to discard something. Instant Fortress could save them. All these cards could save them. Maybe not Hylian Shield. It could, though. We'll do Hyrulean. And just hope that that's enough. Okay. This thing. Quick Jab's Haymaker exists, certainly. It's plus 8 power. 4 plus 8 is 12. Do we have another 4? Please tell me you have another 4. Okay, wait, we have a virtual 4. Mantis Lord. Quick Jab's Haymaker. For a full plus 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mantis Lord talent does it. Okay. And we're done here. Yep. Geomantis' advance, 2 games to 1. That was a really close set, though. Like, a lot closer than I thought it would be. Alright, let me know what you think down in the comments. See you for the next match.